The Ministry of National Development just announced the extension of the seller stamp duty period from 3 to 4 years. Will this affect you as a owner, buyer or seller? So, essentially now, anyone who buys a residential property will have to pay a SSD if they sell within 4 years instead of the 3 years previously. And this is based on the rates here. In this video, I will explore what are the likely effects on a seller or buyer and what you should be aware of. Hi, I'm Khai. I help my clients in property planning and investment and share my experiences and analysis in this channel to help people have a better understanding of the markets. So please help me by liking and subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much. The main aim of this new ruling is to reduce the instances of short holding period where new launch buyers sell or flip before the project is completed. So what is the purpose of this? Is there any difference if a buyer sells at the 3-year mark or the 4-year mark? Do they not want people to make profit? Generally, they are not concerned about people making money as long as they do not disrupt the normal market movement for genuine buyers for homestay and not cause a bubble. Because if this bubble bursts, it will cause many hardship to the general public. The government sees a high take-up rate in the recent launches, especially in the recent case of the Emerald of Katong and Chuan Park, among others. They are worried about a bubble forming, especially as interest rate is dropping. This will encourage more people to want to buy and sell after 3 years to make a good profit. So they want to come in early and act before this becomes a problem. They mentioned that this is specifically targeted at new launch. But there are 3 points to take note of. 1. Like in the case of Penrose, only about 12% sell before TOP between the 3rd and the 4th year mark of being launched. And in the first half of 2025, only 14.7% of the total non-landed transactions are sold after owning for 3 to 4 years. This is really not a big number. Second point. Many sub-sale buyers are making 20 to 30% profit. So a 4% SSD, if they sell then, won't really make a big dent in their enthusiasm to continue flipping. Buyers who are going to enter the market will have already secured bank loan, and even full cash buyers mostly already have secured funds, so that whether it's 3 or 4 years, it does not really matter so much to them. This measure is to slow down the rate of the small percentage of buyers who will cash out at the 3rd year and recycle their fund and profit into another new launch, thus propping up demand. So instead of the 9 years to flip 3 times, now they need 12 years to flip 3 times. So there is a reduction of the sale and purchase cycle, resulting in a lower take-up rate for the new launches. But this group of buyers are really small, as we see most buyers are for own stay. And as this new rule only affects buyers from now onwards, this minor effect, even if there's any, will only be seen 3 to 4 years later down the road. Furthermore, the most profit is after TOP, where buyers can see and feel and be impressed by the new buildings and facilities and pay a higher price. We can see that in this case for Penrose, even after TOP, prices are still increasing. The most profit is when owners sell after TOP. Even when there is no substantial effect, there might be a small group of buyers who might want to wait a while and see what happens. But the current supply and demand situation is such that the inelastic homestay demand is still very constant, and the supply of TOP units are slightly limited due to the earlier disruption of COVID. For example, many of the TOP units in the next 12 months will come from the 2022 government land sales. But in 2022, there's only about 8,475 units on the confirmed list. This contrasts with the current 10,000 units in 2025. So we see that actually there is an undersupply of completed units currently. This is not the main gist of the video, so I won't go into detail. If you want to find out more on the supply and demand situation, please reach out separately and we can have a discussion. So, for these people who waited, once they realize that there is no substantial effect on the property price a few months later, they will re-enter the market. So, it is better to take action before these people. So what are the effects on the current owners and existing sellers who listed their property? Nothing changed for them, and this exercise is not meant to lower the current price as there are more effective ways to do this. But interest rate is really coming down. So coupling with a lower supply, likely there will be more interest in property leading to price appreciation. So upgraders who are looking to sell, to buy a higher priced private property should be realistic in their asking for the property they want to sell, so they can buy a higher priced property to have a better gain during the upward momentum. And these upgraders need to plan early and make adjustment early to be able to take advantage of the situation, as good things comes to those who are prepared. For new launch buyers, there might be slightly lesser competition at the ballot to choose a good unit, because a small number of buyers might be affected by the sentiment and delay their purchase. So it might be a good opportunity for buyers who has good enough financial standing. But make sure you have ample planning on your finances with your agent early to make sure that you avoid stressful situations where the fund flow might become an issue. If you do not have any agents you are working with, do contact me and we can work out a 7-year plan with safety net provisions so that we can make sure everything is planned for and there will be nothing to worry about in the next 7 years. Once again, I'm Khai. See you in the next video.